Hello, magical family. I'm Savina, and welcome back to the Witching Hour. Today, we're going to talk about self-care, self-love for all my Harry Potter peeps out there. We know love is one of the strongest, oldest magics out there, right? Magics? Type of magic out there, right? So what's better than taking care of yourself? But before diving into it, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button, and if you do, thank you. You guys, my allergies are killing me right now, so if you see me like blinking, trying to hold it together, please bear with me. Anywho, let's get into it. Self-care, self-love. I've actually had a lot of interest in this topic, and I'm really happy that I do. My channel is called The Witching Hour. If you've been here for a while, you know I cover Harry Potter related content, paranormal, and very recently I've been very into the whole energies, emotional kind of aspect of things, good energy, bad energy, how to control those things, and what it means for the space around you. So I still feel like this is very fitting. We all have our own things to deal with, but I 100% am a full-on believer to self-care, self-love, and what's going on up here definitely affects your overall day, your overall life, and it's really important to talk about. I thought about how I was going to do this video like over and over in my head, and I feel like I'm going to have to break it up a bit, or else we're going to be here forever. I do think it's a good place to start where self-care, self-love came into my life. So, you guys, I'm 27. I've had my share of crap to deal with in life, as do everyone else, right? You never know what someone's going through. So, I'm going to be very brief on this part. If you ever want me to go in depth about some of my issues or things I've had to overcome, please let me know down below or head over to my Instagram and message me. I will gladly have a conversation with you. So overall, just so you get an idea of where I'm coming from and to understand why this had such a big impact on my life. From the age of about 15 to 2021, I was in a really bad headspace, mentally, emotionally. Self-perception was really bad. Some things have happened to my life, which I won't go into detail right now, but again, it left me in a very dark place. I've mentioned it to you guys before. I always dealt with like low self-esteem, no confidence, and a lot of other stuff. And from that period of time was some of the hardest things in my life. And then even after the fact, so when I hit about 2021, I found a way to manage myself a little bit better, but I still didn't really start on the whole self-care kind of deal, if that makes sense. Again, there was a period of time, I'm gonna be honest with you guys right now, I went through a period of time where, and I could say this openly, I haven't really before, but what do I got to lose? There's a period of time where I went through, I would say borderline, almost eating disorder or issue. That wasn't that fun. I also went through, so I had highs and lows of dealing with self-esteem in that area when it came to weight. And let me just put this in perspective for you. I'm 4'11". I'm not that big. When I was younger, I was really tiny, like toothpick tiny, And then I hit puberty at a young age. TMI, I'm sorry, but when that happened, I gained a lot of weight, only to find out that I had to deal with some medical stuff. It is what it is. So, from really early on, after that, I started gaining weight. That was always an issue for me. And that was a struggle in itself. So I have the weight stuff, the eating stuff, and then a couple of things that did happen into my life. So it's juggling all of that, okay? Like I said, from 15 to about 20, 21, really bad headspace. And it was up to, like I said, lots of highs and lows 2 years ago and up to last year, which is when I first started my channel, at least when it came to the weight thing and how I manage things. I was at the heaviest I've ever been. I could barely look at myself in the mirror. I literally hated the skin I was in. And it just became self-bashing in a way. Like, it was really bad because I was not nice to myself at all. I did not give myself any room to just breathe, and I was on myself all the time. And yeah, like I said, it was finally to the point where I was like, something's got to give. The way I've been feeling, I don't want to feel this way anymore. I started by literally Googling things like how to be confident, how to act confident even if you're not, ways to feel better about yourself. These are literally things I was Googling, and I got things like, how to hold your posture, how to speak, fake it till you make it kind of deal. And I started implementing those things a bit. So, and during that time, I was also, the company I was working with, we did like self-improvement stuff, but when it came to business, and I just started thinking like, there has to be a way to use this for myself. And up to that point, I didn't realize the damage I was doing to myself. I was not taking care of myself at all, and I'm not just talking physically, like mentally, emotionally. I was horrible to myself, really, really bad. So one day, I was looking for more stuff to listen to or look at. I started watching small YouTube videos about how to be more confident, right? Key tips, things like that. And what started for me was like a gratitude list. So it's not even something you have to write down. This is how I started doing it. Was every day you wake up, and before you really get your day started, think about 3 things that you're thankful for and makes you happy. So when I got into the rhythm of doing that, my day started going a little bit better. And that's when I started to realize that mindset and what's going on mentally and emotionally has such an effect on your life. And I woke up one day and I said, I'm just tired of how I feel. I'm tired of not only how I look or what I see in the mirror, but emotionally, I always felt drained and just like, have to struggle to get by each day, and then, smiling and putting up a front in front of everybody else. And deep down, I was not that happy. But yeah, anyway. And that didn't come from anyone else but myself. And that's what I realized. It didn't matter. And God bless him, I was with my boyfriend at that time as well. Still am. It had nothing to do with him. It was me. And thank God he was patient and kind. One day I woke up and I was like, I really want to maybe find a book that could help me. And I didn't know what exactly I was looking for. I just knew there has to be something else out there. Okay, the videos work, they help. So, but I needed more. We went to Barnes & Noble. I went to like the self-improvement section, and there's this book called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Pretty sure I'm saying her name right. It caught my attention right away. I opened it, I was skimming through it, and I was like, yeah, I think this will help me. So I started reading it, and things really took off from there. And then from that point on, I really just started nurturing my mind. And that's when it hit how much self-care is important, how important it is to give yourself peace of mind, to not be a critic to yourself, to really show yourself love in any way possible, give yourself peace of mind in any way possible. And it is a lot of freaking work, I'm gonna tell you that. So today, after getting off my soapbox, you're not gonna see me. I'm gonna do things a little bit differently. I'm gonna show you my books. Maybe I'll read a little bit from it so you can understand why I connect so well. Another thing to mention, the whole self-care journey, and I will go into things that I do more in depth, but the first thing that started off is just wanting to be better and do better and feel better. That's gonna be your kicker. If you're in a situation and you're just like, I don't want to feel like this anymore, what can I do to feel better, to love myself more? This is where you start, and it honestly starts with self-improvement. So think about it. If you're going through this for the first time, you've never overcome this before, so you don't really have the knowledge to guide yourself in that way. So you do need outside resources, outside help, and it's everywhere. Outside help in the sense of like some kind of guidelines, some kind of coaching, anything that you could fuel your mind. There are many things I do when it comes to my self-care routine. Self-improvement is my number one kicker. That's what got things going for me. And then there's some simple things like enjoying my cup of coffee, cup of tea, giving myself quiet time, or just space away from everybody. But I figure, why not start where I started, and then you could kind of follow along in that way, maybe, and hopefully it would be helpful to some of you, even one person. That will make me happy. So let's go on to my living room, shall we? Okay guys, we are in my living room now. I do not have a stabilizer as yet, so you're not going to see my face right now. I'm just trying to make my life easy. So right here, this is my current book bag. I carry it with me everywhere I go. Pretty sure I got it from a subscription box. Don't remember which one. If you have it, let me know if you remember where it's from, which box. Anyways, what I want to show you is what's inside. Like I said, the book that changed it all for me. So as you can see, it's been through a lot. I may have to get a new copy. So the first time I read this book, and I read out the entire thing, it's when I got the courage to start my YouTube channel and my Instagram account. So here we are today, pretty much almost exactly a year later, which is funny. So these books, and she has multiple, they have exercises inside that you can do. The first time I read the book, I did not do them. I just read the book to kind of absorb it in. And then when I went back in, I did do them. And they really do help. So do what's best for you. Now, I think the important thing is, I think a lot of people don't want to start self-improving or are more hesitant about reading or diving into it because most people think it's a bunch of BS. Let's be honest. I did at a point. But what really drew me to this book was the fact that it wasn't flowery, it wasn't crazy language. It felt like somebody just telling their story and encouraging me to make moves for myself, which I really, really love. I am currently rereading it because I needed a boost for myself. So that is my bookmark. And maybe just so you could get an idea of what it's like, I'm gonna share. There's my Snape bookmark, by the way. That's from Literature, those bookmarks. So the chapter I am on right now, chapter 7. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have not picked up the book in a while, but I know I need to. So one thing you'll notice at the beginning of each chapter, like you see right here, she puts in a quote from somebody famous or somebody well-known, or just somebody who has some good wisdom. So this one's pretty funny. I'm not offended by all the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb. I also know I'm not blonde. Dolly Parton. Before even going into chapter 7, if you just look at this right here, I can't stress this enough. Forgive yourself. Extremely, extremely important. Love yourself. So as you go along, there's little things like this in it. I'm going to let you guys, you could kind of get a feel for what it's like. I'm not going to read all of it. But this book really spoke to me. And I said earlier when I was talking about everything, I was horrible to myself. I really, really was. Now that I think about it, I can't get over how bad it was. But this is the book, guys. And this book impacted me so much that I went out and I got her other books. This one is freaking awesome as well. It kind of touches or picks back up on the first one, but it really is like money and business oriented. And I really, really love it. When I read this one for the first time, I went in and did the exercises as I was reading the first time I read it. And it was so helpful. And then she also has this one, which is fun. It's a little one that I picked up. This is not like the first one. This one just has little tips and tricks. And I would call it like a booster for yourself. So if you're feeling down, if you kind of just flip through some of the pages. So there's quotes like this, and then maybe like a page or two of something you should think about or things you should do, or an example of a situation. And it's really short. This one you could breeze on through. Again, it's not like her other ones, but it's just little like snippets of advice and little quotes to get you through your day. So I call this like my booster. And it says so on front, how to keep your motivation strong. And I do think this is exactly what it's all about. So all of these books kind of work together. And you gotta start somewhere. Now another thing I wanted to show you was I actually have my journals. This one is horrible. Don't judge me. It's almost full, by the way. That's my business journal. So this is my personal journal, one of them, that I started last year. So right on top, January 22nd, I 100% remember this entry. It's when I first started Witching Hour, how I was feeling, things I was going through. And when I tell you, just every so often, I would journal in my thoughts. This right here, if you could actually see, this is where I started when I was reading You're a Badass at Making Money. These are the exercises I started doing as well. So in between you see my exercises, and sometimes I just journaled in what I was feeling for the day. This is also when COVID started taking off, and in the beginning it's so funny. You really see how I was feeling through it all. And I can't stress enough how important it is to express yourself or let out your emotions in some shape, way, or form. So again, this is where I started. If you guys want tips or tricks on how to start journaling, even when it comes to reading, if you want other recommendations, let me know. Definitely let me know if you decide to check out these books. This is only part of what I do for my self-care. Some days when things just feel really stressful, I need to deep breathe, and then if I open up one of these books and breathe a little bit, it really gets my mind in a really good place. At least better from where I started. And we are magically back in my little desk space. So I don't know if this is a little bit different than you guys kind of pictured when it came to self-care or self-care, self-love, but I figured this was the best place to start because there are small little things that I do for myself daily, like my cup of coffee, my big cup of coffee, by the way. Yeah. And just small little things that give me like small wins throughout the day that really boost myself up. But I think it was really important to start where I started because that gave me the basis for everything. It's worth it. It's worth giving yourself this. There's a lot of craziness in the world, and we owe it to ourselves to be kind to ourselves, to treat ourselves. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. I think the first book that I showed you right now, you could get it paperback for like $12, $13, which isn't bad at all, especially for what I think you can get out of it. You gotta start somewhere. One of my favorite quotes is start by starting. And in my next video, I think I'll get more in-depth about my small little wins and my self-care routine. Like I have a daily kind of routine, and then I have things that I need to pull out for when everything feels like hell. Like for days where I really, really need extra love and support for myself, I have things like that as well. So I would love to do a video on that for you guys. I also use crystals and just meditation, gratitude list and journals, which is very helpful, especially when you're aggravated with somebody. You sit there and you think about 3 things that they usually do or they do that make you smile, contribute to your life in a positive way. Very, very helpful, especially if you're in a relationship. Anything you can do to make yourself feel better, do better, please do it. When you feel good, you do good. And those books right there, that it was honestly life-changing for me. As cliche as that sounds, that's where my journey started. And when I tell you I had a lot of mental and emotional baggage, you guys, if one day you want to do a chit chat about stuff like that, I would gladly get into it. But love is magical. Self-love is a whole other level, and it's something you gotta work on daily. I do not have perfect days all the time, but I have learned how to snap out of things or be in control of my emotions and my mental state. You can't control a lot of things, I understand, but there are some things you have absolute control on, and that's your feelings. Some days it gets away from you, and that's fine. I'm not saying by doing these self-improvement things or giving yourself that time or that extra love, it doesn't mean every day is going to be perfect. It's life. There are things you can't control, but take care of what you can control. I am full of tips and tricks. I am constantly learning myself. I've learned to let myself have that like 10 to 20 minutes, if not longer, to enjoy my cup of coffee and move forward with my day in a positive way. You gotta do it, guys. You have to do it. With that being said, because at this point, I'm just rambling, I hope you guys are doing well, staying well. And until next time, guys.